Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. This is the third lecture of this series Java Interview Preparation Basics. In this lecture we will study about the common term which is said as Java is platform independent language. We will go into details and understand how exactly is Java platform independent and what are the things which happen in background which enables Java to be platform independent. Now before going into the details, what we should understand the meaning of platform independence. So what do we mean by platform independent language? It simply means that write once and run anywhere. By write once and run anywhere, we mean that you can write your code on any platform and you can run that code on any given platform. So if you write your Java code on a Linux machine, the same code will run on Windows machine, the same code will run on Mac machine. Similarly, if you write your code on the Macintosh machine, your code will also run in Linux and a Windows machine. Now, simply the definition is you can write your Java code in any place and run it anywhere irrespective of the underlying OS. Now before understanding that why Java is a platform independent language, I think we should understand that why C is not platform independent. And by understanding why C is not platform independent, it will enable us to understand it in much more detail and in a much better way to how Java is platform independent. Now all of you who have any prior experience of coding in C, you must remember that whenever you compile a C code, the bytecodes generated are responsible. A .exe file is generated. So whenever you compile a C code, a .exe file is generated. Now, whenever you run that .exe files, a bytecode, the .exe file contains bytecodes, and those bytecodes are responsible to make the system calls to get resources from the operating system. Now understand that whenever you compiled the C code, you have generated a .exe file in a Windows machine. Now that same code will call the underlying operating system to get resources. So if you have defined a variable, your C code will require a memory address to store that variable's value. So it will make a system call that, hey operating system, give me a memory address, I want to store this value. Similarly, if you have opened some channel or IO channel, you want to close that IO channel, you will try to book a socket for that, and the bytecode will make a call to the operating system that I want to get a socket, I want to close this socket for the further communication and all that. So all those things are done by the bytecode of your compiled C code. Now the main problem with platform independence of C lies here itself, that once you have compiled the C code, a bytecode is generated. Now the same bytecode can't make different calls to different operating systems. So basically, if you say that Windows has a kernel of Windows, if you have an operating system such as Fedora or an Ubuntu, it has a kernel of Linux. Macintosh has a kernel of Mac. The same bytecode doesn't know to now the system calls for getting the resources from the operating system are different in different kernels, and the same bytecode can't make different calls in the different kernels. That's why you have to compile a C code separately whenever you take that code to any different operating system. So the same compiled code can't run on different machines because the system calls are different for each and every operating system, and the same C code doesn't know how to make those system calls. Now we will study that how Java makes sure that whenever you take your Java code, compile Java code from one system to another, that same code runs, and how it makes sure that this valid system calls are made to different operating systems. So in behind everything that makes Java as a platform independent language is JVM. You should understand that Java is a platform independent but JVM is not. So basically, even if you have ever installed personally Java on machines, you know that JVM for each and every the JDKs for each and every operating system are different. That is, there is a separate JDK for Windows, that is, there is a separate JDK for Linux, and there is a separate JDK for Macintosh. Now whenever you compile your code, since the JDK is different, a different JVM is spawned, a different process of JVM is spawned, and the Linux JDK knows how to make Linux system calls to get resources. The Macintosh JDK knows how to make Macintosh system calls to get resources, and the Windows JDK knows how to get Windows system calls to get resources. That's how Java becomes platform independent. Now, since JVM differs for Windows, Linux and Mac, the corresponding JVM knows the different system calls need to be made in each OS. So that is how we have, in this lecture we have understood that how Java is platform independent. The underlying feature that makes Java platform independent is JVM. You should always remember that Java is platform independent, but the underlying JDKs are different, and since the JDKs are different, the spawned JVM processes are different. So the same Java code is compiled into the class files and the bytecodes, but the system calls are made by the different JVMs which are running in the different operating systems. Thank you.